And we're live. We were probably live a second ago. I forgot to check my dashboard. Okay. It is Monday. It is 10:30 in the morning. It is October 29th, 2018, and we are still making indie games. Specifically this one, Kine. When last we left off, I believe I was doing some random shit with the boat levels, right? Yes. I was getting it so that characters animated moving with the boats. Continuing in my incredibly slapdash fashion, I got that working. Didn't do much more than I already did on that. What happened next? Well, there's certain things I can't stream, so I was focusing on those. Also, I had to go into work, so which meant I kind of had to change up what I was doing because I was in the office. So, one of the things I did was I overhauled how the post-processing works so that when I'm in the boat levels I have a different post-processing and a different material path than when I'm in the regular levels and so forth. There's nothing to show there, it's just now I can change the post-process, and it's also changed up when the certain material effects happen. So when you play the game and you're in the main menu, you'll see that these kind of ribbons that guide you through the world, they draw through the world. Whereas when you're playing the game, I don't want that to happen, obviously. So that's all set up to work again. The game takes an age to load now. Not in a compiled build, just uncompiled. Come on. Not sure what change made it take this long though. So yeah, here you'll see the ribbons draw over the world. I think it's supposed to stop when I go here, but I guess not. And when you go in to actually play a level, the ribbons... Oh god, it's all broken. Maybe this one works? Okay, yeah. So for the normal levels it works. I need to fix it for that stuff. The post-process changes when you go into these kinds of levels. I don't actually like the post-process or any of the art. That's a whole conversation. So, yes. That's all still there. I think I did a quick thing to test this where if you're in the boat levels it turns kind of pink. The boat levels now have their own post-proc that I can play with. Which is just the setting up some foundational stuff so I can go in here and do different, what do you call it? I don't know, do new art paths. That was the thing I did. I spent a bit of time playing around with different ideas for this, if you remember the key art. Where am I here? So I started out, I was looking at the key art. Let me show you what it looked like before. This is where the key art was, and I've never liked the eyes. I always thought they kind of looked dead-eyed, and I always wanted to pick at that. So over the week I've been picking at it, and I kind of did get a little bit carried away. Like I started out kind of with just new eyes, and then I thought that was a little bit too... I still like this. I still think this is the best one. If the eyes have pupils, and then I was playing around with... maybe they're kind of like gray and it looks like they're inset, and then I was playing around with what else? This is if they're drawn over. This is like going back to what if they were lights and they were blinking out. This one might be a winner. It's hard to say. There was a lot of other experiments. This is a new mouth option for Rue. This was one of the mouth options for Euler. Here's some other stuff I tried. That one was bad. That one was bad. That one was bad. So yeah, you can see I just sort of played a lot here. What if Rue's mouth looked like this? What if it looked like this? The idea here being like, what if it was like a floppy disk drive that you were pushing into? So I was playing around a lot, obviously. I think what I've settled on is going back towards... What am I missing here? Yeep. What are you? No, not you. What are you? Just that. Yeah. I think this is where I'll land. No, wait, I do want the new mouth. I like the idea of Euler's mouth changing away from the buck teeth into something like this. I asked a couple of people and they seem to like this one better. So that's what I'm doing with that. Hey Oddball, what's up, man? What else? I spent a bit of day thinking about environment stuff and puttering around. There's no real good results out of that. Though no, I'm missing something. I do want to keep that. I'm playing around with different textures, like what it should look like instead of the scribble when you turn to the side. So I thought a bit about the environment art, but there's not much to show there. There's nothing to show there. Thought a bit about this. I spurned a day and a half working on the talk I'm giving on Friday in Norway. I'll be flying out on Tuesday. What else? Oh yeah, well, I mean, other than the big thing. The biggest thing was I did a complete refactor of the sliding logic and the extending your limb. Part of the talk, so I was giving this talk and I was like, one of the disadvantages of working your free time or after work is that you don't have any really large chunk of time to commit to something. And one of my examples was I was just showing off this function that was just a complete mess. And it was a mess because like I started writing it after work one day in a couple hours, and then I think I came back another day and I spent another couple hours on it, and then I came back another day, and then I like had an edge case that I hacked in a solution. It just became this nightmare that is basically unfixable and just needs to be scrapped and rewritten entirely. And after I finished my talk, I was like, I should really scrap that and rewrite it entirely, and so I did. I finally did this. It took a long time because I had some inspiration on how to do it, but this is the sliding logic now. It's all cleaned up. It's the way it's done is completely different from how it was done before. What was happening before was just this was copied over from like the move system and then edited shittily, whereas now it's just from scratch written only to have what it needs, and it's just smaller and cooler. And this is all rewritten. I know it looks like a lot, but I swear to you, no, this was not rewritten. Test. This was rewritten. So I've been very busy. These two things together, getting the logic and all of it smoothed out, took a day and a half, and there's almost certainly going to be bugs, but this is something I can build on. And it's something I don't feel embarrassed to show Elmore. I have a friend of mine that's a programmer. I got him access to this, to my Perforce at home, so I kind of needed to clean things up before he saw it. Because I feel shame. Large amounts of shame. Yeah. That's the opening. Now we can go into just the streaming stuff. Hey, Oddball. I know you already said hi. Oh, I have so much to do before I leave. I feel like I'm gonna be in Norway for a bit, and then I'm meeting friends in Stockholm, and I promised I'd take a vacation, but it's like between writing the talks and wasting my time pitching to publishers and shit. Not publishers, pitching the game. I haven't worked on Con nearly enough. I'm really bummed about it. I mean, I know I've put in the hours, but it's like I thought I would put in some serious work as soon as I went full-time indie solo, but instead it's just been everything else. Setting up the company and all the dumb shit that you have to do. Hey Tom, good morning. And so I'm frustrated. I don't really want to go on vacation, but I am going to go on vacation. I'm going to leave, I'm going to speak in Norway, and then I will be in Stockholm for a couple days. And I will be back in a week, 2 weeks-ish from now. And then we will make this fucking game. And it will be done. It's gonna be one of those fucking cliche stories. That's my bitter Monday morning thought. Alright. So yeah, making the game, that's what we're doing. So with the refactor of the sliding system, part of the reason I had to do that was, maybe I can show you. This will be fun to show you. It's not like I refactored it for no reason. Not only was it hideous, it was impossible to build on, and there was bugs. Specifically, if a sliding prop hit another sliding prop, what should happen? Either it should stop or it should push the other sliding prop, but it definitely shouldn't just penetrate through the sliding prop and like hang out there. There was just bugs with regards to the sliding props hitting each other. But that's fixed now, which I can show you. Before, everything was working so long as I kept the design to very specific constraints, where at any given moment, if I had, like on the dancing levels, I just determined like whatever, it works so long as I always keep one of the pawns on a sliding prop. And they can't be independent. You can't roll off of them and then have them exist in the world. But that was not working. That was not good enough, which was part of what made me do the refactor. So these levels now, what do I have? Yes, the levels I'm testing now. Now I can do things like this, where like he can go and push her, and she can move this other prop. See? Still not sure this is as fun as I was hoping it would be. I might just be sick of it. Anyway. Yeah, that's what we're working on. Happy Monday, Tom. Specifically, what are we working on? Did I play Red Dead? No, I have not played Red Dead. I am cheap would be the word. So I'm on the panel of judges for animation at DICE, like the excellence in animation at DICE. So if I just wait like a week, I get all these games for free. So when I get back from vacation, I might stream it. I'll stream it this time, maybe. Just evaluating all the different contenders for excellence in animation at the DICE Awards this year. And I figure, yeah, so I'll just wait and do it then. Fuck it. Which is bullshit, but I have a lot of friends who worked on that game, so. Because Rockstar, one of the engine programmers that works there is one of my drinking buddies. I think we drink about, I don't go that much, but they drink every week. You don't think you've ever seen animations as good as Red Dead 2? I don't know, man. Last year I got to play Horizon Zero Dawn, and that really fucking set the bar. So, though I've been seeing the Twitter gifs of like punching a horse and then getting kicked in the face, which looks pretty good. Pretty excited to see that. Specifically just that. I love horses. There's different things. There's one thing I've always wanted in a game, because I used to work in a horse ranch. There's a thing a horse will do, and it's like, you know how like a cat will come up and scratch itself on you or rub up against you? Horses do that too, but they're big, right? So a horse will come up to you sometimes, and it'll have an itch on its head specifically, and it'll just put its head on your, like, it'll just take its head and put it on you, and then just kind of like lift you up because it's scratching its head on you. And it's adorable. Also, if I was a child when I worked on a ranch, so it would also just knock me over sometimes, but I always wanted to see that in a game. I thought that'd be fun. You're stunned by the overall quality? Yeah, man, they don't fuck around. They do not fuck around. We were talking at, one of our conversations was about how when you work in a AAA game, depending on your role, there's a good chance you haven't played much of the game, or all of it at least. Like, I'll tell you, on Bioshock Infinite, I worked on the backgrounds characters and the scenes. I was in charge of all those. And there was none of those in Emporia. So that whole area with Siren and stuff, like I never played that until after the game came out. There was basically no reason to. I debugged bugs with Siren in a test map, but I never played a large part of the game. And my friend, he's an engine programmer, and he's like, usually he has to play through all the game, like at different points to get bugs and things. But he's like, this game was so big, he didn't. He's actually excited for the first time to play a game he worked on when it comes out, which is cool. You don't get, oh, of course you get access, but you don't, I mean, games aren't fun early. They don't become fun until surprisingly late, because at any given moment, some system is busted, some department is working on something that's half implemented, and you'll scrape something together for a demo, but you don't demo the entire game ever. In AAA, it's a 40-hour game usually, right? So it's not really fun to play it until it's all polished and done anyway, I guess, or at least pretty close. And if you're not a designer, you're just not playing it all the time along the way. Is there a DICE Animation Award for excellence in horse genitalia animation? Yeah, that was it's interesting. I don't think they did that with animation though, man. I think they did that with like, I don't know. I don't know how they did it. I haven't seen it yet. I haven't seen any GIFs of it. I've only heard tale that there is shrinkage. And I would imagine if I was going to do shrinkage, it would be with the blend shape. I don't imagine I would necessarily animate that with bone-based animation. I think that would be a poor use of resources. Unless you needed physics. Like if it was a physics-based schlong, that would require, like if you need to ragdoll it, then I would imagine you'd want to put bones in it. But otherwise it's most likely a blend shape or a material trick. Yeah. But yeah, I don't think that's what we're going for the excellence in animation. I don't think we're particularly looking at that situation. I don't think that's why they're up for it. Aren't blend shapes using more resources than bone-based animations? It depends. The weight of, oh god, that's a, oh, it depends on the blend shape, right? I mean, all a blend shape is it's an offset for each vertice. Blend shapes are usually heavier the more vertices you're offsetting. These days, blend shapes are pretty efficient. You don't have to store every vertice. You only store the delta of the vertices that are edited. So, for instance, if you're only editing, like you could have a 20,000 vert character, but if you're only editing like 30 verts, you're only storing the offset information for 30 vertices. Also, it is so dependent on technology at the time in your engine. Like, there was times when it was more important to find ways not to use bones, because if you used more than 80 bones, then you had to have a second draw call for your character, and that mattered. And then there's times when that doesn't matter. Like now, who gives a fuck about draw calls for the most part, depending on the game, right? I should say that. In a game that's open world like them, maybe that does matter. Because if you suddenly have, if all of your characters are 2 draw calls versus 1, you have a game with a lot of characters, I guess that could matter. Most likely, though, your draw calls are going into your environment these days. And does it depends on how efficient your engine is with regards to blend shapes and how efficient it is with regards to bones, right? Like you could have, it also depends on like, everything these days is pretty efficient. But you can imagine having, if you have another bone and you're storing animation data. So if you have an animation that has 30 bones in it versus an animation that has, sorry, if you have a character with 30 bones in it versus a character with 60 bones in it, right? Then every animation on that character has twice as much animation data, possibly, depending on how you're compressing things, unless you're very specifically filtering out the bones you don't need. So if they were diligent about saying, okay, the horse schlong bones, we're only going to export animation data on them for these 3 animations, and everywhere else we're going to make sure we don't store any animation data, that would be one thing. But there's that, I don't know, I've never seen anybody be that efficient. Usually you can find people who are, you can tell your animators never animate the horse schlong unless it's one of these animations, and then then your programmer will write something that detects if the bones don't change over an animation and disregards that for storing. How big are vertices? You mean how many vertices are in a character? Like a horse? How many bytes? Shit, bitch, I have no idea. Like, I don't, that's not my bag. I know, I can give you, you can go on polycount. Like, so there used to be, back in the day when forums were good and everybody was on forums, there was one in particular that was fantastic and it was called polycount and it's still around today. They usually still do, this was like 10 years ago when you were a game artist, you went to polycount and you would show off your stuff here. And now everybody got jobs and like the guy that used to run the modeling forum is now like the lead modeler at Spider-Man and shit. But anyway, they still do their art dumps, even now. They'll go back and like do an art dump where you can see the breakdown. You can see the characters, you can see their wireframes, you can see their textures. Everybody that's an old school polycounter still does it. So like, I wonder if they have one yet. I think Red Dead is too new. Oh, they also just talk about art stuff. Polycount up. I never go here anymore, which is a shame. I've just got too much crap. The rattle. Still sounds like skeletal animation. You think skeletal animation out would be less? Possibly. Your vertices got pretty big. I don't know, man. I'm used to Unreal where generally blend shapes are very cheap. Also, are you talking about size on disk or are you talking about memory? You must be talking about memory, right? Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, you're talking about adding more bones to a character and adding that bone information to every animation for that character, of which you might be underestimating just how many animations go into this. We're talking hundreds and hundreds of animations go into that horse, right? Also, you're just not going to get the exact... There's certain things like, if you want that horse schlong to move from one pose to another pose that's very exact, you might as well just sculpt it versus having like... Unless it needs to animate, there's really no reason to have it be bone-based. My instincts go hard towards this sounds like something that should definitely, unless they're animating it, should definitely be blend shapes. Another thing you're assuming that I bet, okay, Unreal is efficient in a way that I forgot, but also kind of bullshit. In Unreal, this is new in UE4. Now we have scaling for bones, but before this, it was bones were always translate in rotation. And by default, Unreal will throw away any scale information you have unless the scale is changing over an animation. So this can actually be kind of a pain in the ass. So if you want something like, if you want your animation to have a constant scale that's not the default scale, you kind of need to like dither it a little so that Unreal will pick it up, for instance. But yeah, in general, so in particular for horse shrinkage, I think you'd have difficulty. I mean, you could do it with a procedural animation, I suppose. I don't know, man. This seems like something that should be a blend shape. The size it gets into the vertex shader where the bone stuff happens. Well, the other thing you got to keep in mind is they're definitely using blend shapes elsewhere on that character. So any inefficiencies you have for just having blend shapes at all, they're already paying that price, right? Most likely. I'm not going to say, like, you're probably right. You definitely know more about what's going on under the hood. I'd say, I haven't seen this horse long yet. Maybe it needs dynamics. Like, maybe it needs to be bones so that it can animate properly. Like, it's possible you need to get secondary motion on it anyway, so there might already be bones there, so it might make sense to do this with bone-based animation. It's possible. It depends. It sounded interesting to hear blend shapes being the more efficient alternative to skeletal animation, when skeletal animation is pretty much invented to get away from storing per vertex data. Maybe. I won't claim to be sure. I don't know. I would have to test it. Another thing I'll say is in Unreal I am, hey Squishy P, what's up, man? I do stuff. It is definitely more efficient in Unreal to find creative solutions to do things in the vertex shader for static meshes versus making something a skeletal mesh. Because something about the code path for static meshes, I believe, is just, and I could be proven wrong. You know what? Elmore's going to drop into this project at some point, and like I'm going to learn a lot of things I don't know right now. But my understanding, based on the last game, from where we were at the Flame and the Flood, was it is more efficient to have something be a static mesh than a skeletal mesh because it just runs down a different code path, and that's just more efficient. And so if you can do things in the like add offsets using a sine wave in the vertex shader, or manipulate vertices in the shader in the material versus rigging it with bones, that's usually ideal. But that could have changed. Don't do anything based on what I say. I have not done the research to prove this. So you think proc animation in the vertex shader is as cheap as it gets, but getting the data of a blend shape into there sounds costly. You know what? Damn it. I'm out of town this week, otherwise I would have gone on Thursday and I would have asked. I've been talking to Rockstar about their stuff. They're pretty, some of them are pretty open about what they're doing. Rockstar's tech is pretty cool. They're interesting. They're definitely like, I've given speeches about how stupid it is to write your own engine, but obviously in their case it's phenomenal. Their tools are just, all their tools are some next level shit, man. I don't know if they use blend shapes or not. I'm not gonna harass them at work. I'm gonna harass them on stream. Debating it though. I'm sure with the recent dust up on Twitter, somebody has inquired as to whether it was bone-based animation or not. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna be in Raleigh at the end of the month. So if you have a series of questions like this, Remarch, write them down and I'll get them answered. I'll consult a nerd. At the end of November, I was gonna go down there. I think I'm actually gonna be on one of their streams. Hang out with my boys at Epic. Let's talk about 16-byte alignment. You know, I was trying to get, because Chris Light's been super busy and stuff. I was trying to get like I want to do another dialogue box episode, but maybe not. Maybe just like a talk episode with me and Elmore, where we just geek out about Blueprint for a while. He talks about like some of the nightmare situations he's been in. He's been taking it in, yeah, he's in fucking Santa Fe. No, the nerds I drink with would help you out very much. I don't know normal people, I know only nerds. They would help you with the rasterization speeds. If you actually care, I'm sure they care deeply as well. Really excited there, huh, Squishy Pig? You'd love watching that? Which part? Me and Elmore nerding out about blueprints? He's seen some shit. So I'm really nervous because, like, how do I put it? I'm a specialist in one very small thing, but most of what I do, even at Irrational, is like, at Irrational I was a generalist for the most part. Like I was a specialist only in tech animation, and for everything else I was writing tools for other people or figuring out stuff. I just kind of work in between departments a lot. And so a lot of the people I know, basically, no matter how good I am at animation, there's people who animate full-time all the time, and those people are better at animation than me. And no matter how good I am at shaders, I don't really work. I work on shaders like a couple days here or there a month. People who do that full-time are better than me. And so you reach a point where you're constantly around people who are the best in the world at what they do, and it makes it so that I am permanently ashamed of everything I do, I guess would be the way I put it. Like I think I worked 25 hours this weekend on refactoring the system, and I did it because I kind of needed to for this, but mostly because I know Elmore's going to look at it and I feel weird about it. Well, I'm ashamed of what I wrote, and that's pretty common. But the funny thing is Elmore would never in a million years judge it. The crap he's seen is just incredible, because he's basically, his job is to roll in and save projects, right? That's one of his jobs. Is his team is hired to roll in at near the end of a project, and get it to run at rate and fix the things that need to be fixed and so forth. And so he's seen some shit. The only question is what he's allowed to talk about. Yeah. Squishy Pete, you're very excitable today, man. Hey Michael, what's up? Yeah, I know you do. Very much. I specialized in graphics dev and then got me. Yup. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's not. I'm in a situation at every moment where I'm completely aware of how much I don't know. So it's difficult sometimes. But yeah, it's part of growing, right? Very much. Yeah, they've had stories in the past that are pretty interesting. I really wish Elmore could talk about it more. Networking and Blueprint. If you're interested in that, I could probably I could get people on that would talk about that. If this is the kind of shit you guys want to hear about, I mean, this is my world. These are the people I drink with. The hard part is convincing them to get on here. Like I was trying to convince Lerner to come on because, I mean, his fucking HR at Rockstar said go online and say what you feel, and I know how Lerner feels, and he would get on here and he would say that Rockstar was probably the least bad crunch he's had. But I mean, we came from Irrational, right? He would say that he barely put in 50-hour weeks, and we would then just nerd out about horse testicles, and it would be a great fucking podcast. I wish I could get Lerner on here, but he's just, scared. Not scared. It's difficult in AAA. And also it sets the wrong precedent, right? Like, especially chiming in on this stuff with the crunch stuff, like, because if that is so dependent on which studio you're in. Some of those studios at Rockstar crunched way harder than other ones, and the second you chime in, you're an asshole, and it's just like easier to not. Oh, you have? Yeah, for networking stuff. For me, Michael, the issue is the loops combined with sequences. So, like, I can't prove it, but there's something funny going on with sequences. Like, I've stopped using them for certain things. Like, I just had to. Like, this was a giant sequence. It was like, do this, and then this, and then this, and then this, and then this. And it just wouldn't work. And then I just finally went around it. And I was like, I will just manually pump you from one bit of code to the next bit of code to the next bit of code. And it looks like madness, but it's not. Trust me. This is actually pretty clean comparatively to what it was. It's just basically a giant ass do while loop with a break, but it had to be set up in a way that's a bit weird. If you understand what I'm sorry. It's just basically I needed to have a loop with a break in it, and this was the only way to do it. And if you have a loop with a break in it and a sequence node, something funky happens. I don't know what it is, Louise. Because the other thing is, it doesn't, under the hood, there's certain things where it won't know when to, I mean, it might be operating as expected. But what I need is for things like, I need to have a loop that I can break that also has a sequence in it. And that's, having it break and not execute and having the sequence stop was just something that wasn't happening until I kind of circumvented it, which might be expected. I'm not sure. No, I'm not stupid enough to use delays with sequences. I know. Yeah, sequences and delays don't work together. Pretty much. Did you just call C++ a scripting language? That's some next level shit there, man. What's your low level? Yeah, I mean, if you were real, you'd be in assembly. Sequence would run the entire thing even if you broke the loop. Yeah. Yeah, that was my issue. Yeah, I wanted it to not do that. Basically, when I break the loop, I want it to stop doing all the code, right? I was reading poorly. Can you also write scripts in Unreal just the way you write blueprints? Oh, it's a question. No, there is no scripting language. They thought about doing that. So, not Epic. Unreal is a very big language. Epic is a very large company, and Unreal is a very big engine. And they have a marketplace, and different people want to add different features to that marketplace. And one of them was actually a company, I forget what they were called, but there was a company that tried to make a C# plugin for Unreal. And I don't know exactly how it would work, but I think you were supposed to it was basically the same thing as Blueprint, but it was the idea was they wanted to add a C# scripting layer instead of Blueprint. And I don't know exactly what happened. Epic kind of was cool with it. It kind of almost got onto the marketplace, and then from what I understand, Tim Sweeney found out about it, and then that company stopped existing. Like someone, maybe or maybe not Tim Sweeney at Epic, got wind of this, was real not pleased with the idea of C# being a scripting language that runs in Unreal, and now that's just not a thing anymore, which is crazy. That's what I heard. This is a little bit through the grapevine. There's partly rumor, but I know enough to know there's some amount of truth in some amount of that. I don't know if it was actually Tim Sweeney, or if it was somebody at Epic, or what the deal was, but I do know there was a company that was funded to make a C# plugin, and that company doesn't exist anymore. And that there was, and that certain people at Epic are not really pleased about the idea of C# being a scripting language. But Epic's a really big company, so there's a lot of people with a lot of different goals. I mean, they're just a really big company. They're doing so many things at the same time. They're pushing into film and enterprise software and stuff. I like the Unreal Engine a lot. I think it's really cool. So I'm not in any way shitting on this. I just thought it was a really fun story. Oh fuck, where are we? Sequence, if you're a programmer. Yeah, I can make a custom sequence blueprint. You're right, Michael. Could do a lot of things. I didn't. I did this bullshit instead. That's about where we are. Yeah. What I like the most about the macro system is that you can actually, most people don't realize you can like this is an if-then statement, the branch. I don't know why they didn't just call it an if-then statement, but you can go into it, right? How do I get there? There is a way to get into it and see the code. Come on. Do you know what I'm talking about? I've done it before. When you step through, you'll step into it. Show me, how do you show the engine content? Now I want to see it. I'm not crazy. Show me engine. They hide it from you at first. But I've pulled it up before. What's the easiest way to get there? Found you. Engine content. Here's your C++ classes. Where is... You know what I mean though, right? You can get into the... Where are the macros? Good. Whatever. Sometimes when you step through the code, you can actually see the blueprint that makes up the if-then statements and things like that, which is pretty cool. Ooh, that's interesting. You can't create a custom node that has expanding execution outputs. Yeah, you're right. I don't know of a way to do that. You have to breakpoint it and then step into it. Yeah. Oh, I can double click the loop nodes. That one it'll let me get into. Where's a loop? Oh, there you go. That's weird. How do they decide which ones you get to go into and which ones you don't? I've definitely stepped into an if-then. So it's possible when stepping through, it's just not possible when to navigate to it. Interesting. Though if you're... Yeah, I don't think I would fuck with a for each loop. I think I would make a unique loop. Anyway, I think that's cool. Alright. This was fun. I should probably do work today. Probably. This is way more fun, but you know. You have a good point. If you're gonna make a node that's dynamic, where you can add pins and shit, obviously that's not gonna be able to. Though a branch node can't really be edited. I feel like a branch node, they should be able to show you that one. Maybe. How things been going with you, Weez? I haven't checked out your stream in a while. I think I saw William Cheers. He's clicking towards the finish line. Saw Jessica Max last week. I have no idea where she's on some other level, man. She's just having a really good time. You've been putting off streaming? Yeah, I barely wanted to do it today. It was rainy and shitty this morning. It's been overcast for days. And then we just got sun right now, which is kind of nice. It gets to you after a while. Especially in Boston, the days get really short. Like the sun sets at 5-ish now, and it's overcast the entirety of the day. But today's not so bad. That's up over time. Yeah, I understand that entirely. Like the refactor I was doing, at one point I was like, this is interesting, I should stream it. And at another point I was like, I'm actually in the zone for once. I'm definitely not going to stream. Not when I can get things done for once. I feel like it's rare these days. Maybe it's like, how do I put it? I feel like I used to have an easier time just zoning in. Like I'd wake up, I would sit at the computer, like hours would pass, I wouldn't notice. Now I feel like I have to really fight for it a lot more than I used to. Maybe that's the difference, Weez. I never really feel like I have a plan. I don't know what changed. The other thing is like I still feel like I'm in this place of limbo where I'm like debating going self-published or not, and that changes things. And I know it's just part of the stuff. I started this so that I wouldn't have to do business stuff anymore. Currently working on boss fights. Yeah. Yeah, I think the ideal time to stream is actually the stuff when you're like, you got stuff to do and it's boring and monotonous and tedious, and you just gotta get through it. Hey, you got all the bits in there. You got your screen shake. What are you iterating on exactly right now? Just the feel of the entire fight in general? I imagine the distance that he can leap, I would say it would be better if he had a little more anticipation and then the leap was faster. So if he was like, because right now he instantly jumps up. If it was like down, like downbeat, fast jump, land real hard. Just kind of make it. People think if you make something snappier, you make it faster, but if you add enough anticipation, I'm about to jump in this direction, then the jump with the land at the end of it. I'm not gonna tell you what to do. I'm sorry. I dig it. You sure? Alright, I'll keep going. Okay. So what you want is you want the player to oh, shit. Okay. So you want the I have no idea if you can see me. I'll just sit again. Okay. So you want the usually for a move like this is this big power move, right? So you want the player to feel like a big attack is coming. So you want to have one pose that he just kind of really quickly gets into, which is like a down for like a beat. And how long that beat is probably going to be like half a second or so. Like he goes down and then he jumps really quickly in a direction, usually with like some kind of trail or some kind of blur. And then he lands, right? And creates that circle that you have there. Anyway, yeah, I just feel like we don't quite have those 3 steps. I feel like he just kind of quickly, or he just kind of automatically starts moving and moves at more of a linear rate rather than a stop arc. Like it loses some of the weight. Sorry. Yeah. Well, cameras work. Also, I wouldn't have him stand up necessarily until he's ready to start turning. Because that moment where he's just kind of standing there bored and is idle, which is probably like his time for basically I would hold him in a down pose until he's ready to move, and then I would stand him up. Otherwise he looks kind of like dirt, kind of dumb, I guess. Whereas if he was just still down, it would look like he was just kind of recovering in some way. Or if at a minimum, if he was head tracking you when you ran away there, so he was literally like, dude, maybe I should go this way. Like if he had some, it just kind of feels like that. It'll make your AI feel smarter, I guess. That would be the first things I would change. Is the attack meant to be easily avoidable? Ooh, that's interesting. Adding some asymmetry to the projectile would probably be pretty cool. That's fun. So how much of that are you doing? Are you animating it yourself, or is it mostly you're doing the behavior tree stuff? Somebody else is doing the animation. Fix my camera. This became a hangout stream. That's okay. I don't feel like working anymore. I'm tired of working. I rewrote the fucking movement system. I get a break. No, I don't. The attack is easily avoidable. Oh, nice. I mean, there's also other classics you could do here, right? Like if you know the classic is if there's an enemy that has a charge and the goal is to get them to charge into like spikes or something where they hurt themselves. I think I did that with the boar. I don't know. There's on the design side, there's like a million things you could do. I'm not doing the animations. Splitting them up, blending them, speeding them up. Yeah. That's animated blueprints. In your game, you're always shooting projectiles, right? Like you're always kind of a caster. Alright, Tom. Yeah, no, I understand. I feel you on the lack of resources. The grass is always greener. Sometimes I'm giving this talk and it's about taking advantage of, what makes you unique and leaning into what you're good at and shit. And I definitely made a game that has almost no animation, and my specialty is animation. So I feel like an idiot sometimes. Okay. All the spells you cast are ranged, right? Like you're not running up and stabbing him in the face. Is what I was trying to get at. Yeah, no problem. I just feel bad if it's not something that's actionable, because I know, like, that is one of those things where I'm like, I know exactly what I would do, but yeah, I'm not trying to not trying to, like, Frankenstein together animations from the internet and shit. That's impressive considering you're doing that. Yeah, no, I'm having a good goddamn time, Michael. That's why I'm doing it. I've got no illusions there. Oh, you have AoE spells. I see. Interesting. It's taking me back. Back to the good old days. Corpse explosion. I loved me some top-down RPGs back in the day, man. We're hitting right in the nostalgia on that one. It's always, it was always the stuff you played when you were a kid. I didn't play Diablo 3. I probably should have. I felt like I put so much time into World of Warcraft and it ate up so much of my life, and I don't regret it or anything, but I feel like I'm done with Blizzard. Like, I haven't played Hearthstone. I never went back to, after Burning Crusade, I had to call it. Like, it was a good thing that I stopped playing that game. But I'm done with Blizzard. I'm done with them now. I'll probably play Dave Brevik's new game just because I love Dave Brevik. Like, what is his game called? What Lurks Below, I think? Dave Brevik. Roguelike? It's a roguelike game, right? Yeah, It Lurks Below. Dave Brevik is a cool dude. I didn't appreciate, like, that was early in my career. I didn't appreciate how good I had it. He's one of the few people that's like a really, really good designer and not also a lunatic. Like, he's a real person. Really easy to work with. As far as creative directors go. Good morning, Numbat. D3 is more casual. That's cool. In fact, to the 20 people in this chat, if you have not gone on YouTube and Googled Dave Brevik and watched his talk at GDC, you should. It's a really good talk. Where he's reminiscing about the days of Diablo and stuff. And it's also just very him. He's just like a very frank motherfucker. Like, he's just real. Well, we did this because it made sense at the time, and you started a business. He's hilarious. I love him. Yeah. Oh, you did see it recently? Yeah, it was good. To me, that was great too, because I saw that on YouTube, and I was like, oh, I used to work for him, right, at Gazillion for a couple years. And at the time, I was like, whatever, it's the guy that made Diablo. And I'm like, oh my god, I worked for this guy. And he's so chill and so human. And I think because he was so chill and so human, I used to do things like, I trying to remember. I was convinced, I mean, I was younger. I was in my early 20s, and I was like, I think the UI should be like this. This would be a better UI. And he's like, oh, child. Sweet child of summer. Let's talk about UI. And he would just have a conversation with you about it. And he knew, like, there was nothing you could say that he hadn't already heard and considered. He was a really cool person to work with. Maybe. Let me look it up. Dave Brevik. Is this the one?
Welcome everyone to another episode.
Dave Brevik, YouTube, GDC. Diablo, a classic game postmortem. I think this is the one. If I recall, this is the one where he goes into, like, starting out making DOS games and changing over to bootstrapping his company and stuff. This one. Just like what it was like to... It's definitely like, this guy was a programmer. He was not a business major. He started a company. Kind of just did whatever he wanted. Kind of just panned out. And I've heard the stories about Diablo too. He doesn't even go into some of the stuff. Like, the artists on that team were just really into some morbid, weird art stuff. They had to constantly be like, dial that back, guys. But yeah, he started a company that got bought by Blizzard. He made Diablo. He ran Blizzard North for a while. Well, obviously for the entirety of Blizzard North, until it wasn't anymore. Then he went off and made Hellgate London, and then unfortunately he got sucked into Gazillion. He made the most of it. Eventually the CEO of Gazillion was hostilely removed. And then not long after that he was made the head of all of Gazillion. And that was unfortunately after I left, and it became a much happier place briefly until he left, and then it went back to being a not good place, from my understanding. That is the vague story of Gazillion. From the corporate side. But no, he is a good person. I like him a lot. Okay, the end. Let's get to work. Enough fucking around. I put my headphones. It's not even plugged in. It just helps me focus. Here we go. What are we doing today? Right. Yes. Okay. So... ignore the fact that the shaders are all fucked. I'm just running a test level, so everything's way blue and gross looking. And also things are drawing through the world. Don't worry about that. So what we are doing though is... Right. So I don't have the... Okay. So right now there's the idea that there's an end location. And the second you roll over it right now, you win. But what I want you to do is I want you to have to stop on it in order to win. And I think I might even want you to have to stop on it with both characters. So like, both characters need to be on a win location, which will look something like this, but it'll be on the floor. Oh god, I don't even know where to start. Okay. So let's just start with okay. Allow myself to be distracted one more time. Oh yeah, I have few, especially at the top. No question. Okay. Work mode. So, player. So right now what happens is, that's a good question. What happens now? So this is just deriving from the standard level complete, which is probably a mistake. What do I want to have happen? What did I do down here? Down here for this, everything has to reach a, oh, I scripted that directly into the level. Fuck. Also, that's a different situation. I don't want it to be that you have to put the risers over specific locations. I want you to have the characters in specific locations. That matters. So I think I should just start over because this just has nothing I need. This is what I want. No, well, this is so different from everything else. Usually when you win, put you in the pawn state 1. Okay, so usually the second you move into a location, I put you in the pawn state 1. Wait. Actually, this shouldn't have worked. If you roll over a win location, you shouldn't win. Why do I feel like you do? And more importantly, right now, if one pawn rolls into a location, they'll do that jump up animation and be pulled out of the world, and they won't exist in the grid world anymore. Whereas what I want is they'll just maybe strike a pose or some effect will happen, and then only when both pawns are in a location you win. Maybe. I think that's what I want. At a minimum, you should have to stop on the location. I don't think that's working, right? Here, let's test it. Oh, I don't even know how to get her there. Oh, maybe just... Okay. So, no, wait, that won't work. What are we thinking here? I don't think there's any way to get there. Okay, so this was a bad example. Because it's technically impossible. Let's get you here. No, let's make it possible to do this. This will be fun. No, that's still gonna be impossible. What the fuck are you thinking? I'm not testing the thing I'm supposed to be testing. Test the thing you should be testing. You know what? Here's what I actually want. Sorry for this. Okay. No, that's not testing anything. I think you can just win the level like this. Yeah, that's just winning. Okay, show me a different level. Something a little more interesting. You should not have won that. You didn't. What is it I'm trying to fix? So right here, you should not win. You didn't. I swear I was yesterday. I swear it. I'm gonna test a theory. Do you check for winning at the end of an extend even if you're about to slide? That would explain why I was seeing intermittent times. If not you, give me a transform body, extend image tick. Where's the thing where we test if you've won? This. If you're sliding, you don't do that. Damn it. Damn it. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe it all works already. More testing is required. Show me stuff. There's a lag too. Something's weird is here. See? Look. After the slide finishes, there's going to be a slight lag. This is something that's definitely been bothering me with the new system. It makes everything feel less responsive because it can't move immediately. Also, there's a chunkiness, like a stuttering look when you move during the slide. These are the things that upset me. Let's fix the things that upset me. So, player pawn. Start with slide body each tick. When you do the translation, let's just try unchecking that. That should definitely not matter. Other thing we're going to do is I want data on. So I have a thing that, where are you? That after a transform finishes, that determines if you should slide. And will slide you a certain amount. I want to know what do I want to know? I suspect nothing is finishing at the end. I suspect that the percentage through transform to finish move is incorrect. I want to detect that. I'm adding a breakpoint here. I want to see. Alright, so what's it doing? First off, let's see if it's smoother. Oh, we're not going to see that yet. Alright. Oh, yeah. You should have hit. Yeah, that's right. Okay. So this is... Yeah, that should be 1. It's not 1. Haha. Okay. Why are you not 1? So you're going to start sliding immediately. That's correct, because you just rolled onto it. You want to slide immediately. There's nothing else sliding. There's only one thing sliding. The slide should end. This should just go from 0 to 1. This matters because sometimes 2 objects are sliding and one stops sliding before the end of the transform. It's just how I've set things up. I don't think of everything in terms of how far it goes. I think of it as a percentage of the slide, where the slide is the amount of time that the player's locked, like we've locked them out of their controls and shit. Basically, there's like the player controls are locked for the move phase when you hit the button and it starts rotating through the end of the slide phase. And everything moves during the slide phase, somewhere from some percentage of the way through the slide phase to some other percentage. Anyways, in this case, it should be very simple. The slide phase should go from 0, this should be moving from 0 to 1. It's moving from 0 to 8.5, which means, and you are stopping after moving 6 tiles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. Accurate. So you're stopping correctly. Your slide distance is determined to be 7. Oh yeah? Why is your slide distance 7? Slide distance starts at 0. Duh. Declare variables. This is a big old do while loop. This is determining if there's things still sliding. If there are, add 1 to the slide distance. Okay, we need to just step through this bad boy, I think. This is probably really simple. I just wrote this and it's probably like I fucked up. So, let me know every time you hit this. Alright, so this is your first loop. You haven't moved yet. Increment this to 1. You take each thing. You try to move it. Say to local slide distance -1. Ooh, fuck. Okay. I already know. So we're testing slide distance. We're testing can you move again. If you can't move again, we say you stopped on the previous one. We never rewind the test because you could be testing multiple things. So why would you? So what we need to do is say once an object is stopped, which is here, we add you to the stopped array. Right? Where, yes, we remove you from currently sliding. All right, I need this to be an if-then statement. Where if the length of this is 0, if nothing is still sliding, I need to subtract 1 because I'm using the same variable for testing how far you can go and how far you can go, basically is what it comes down to. So all of this logic needs to go into this branch. Which means maybe I should put it over here. Wait, does this make sense? Yes. Yes, I'm right. Okay. So take all this. If this is true, subtract 1 back from local slide distance. And then no, nope, this is bullshit. Okay, hold on. Because you could be moving. So this loop is checking if you're moving north, south, west, or east. I handle all objects. Basically, I run the loop 4 times depending on the direction you're running in. So there could be objects moving in a different direction. I don't know what scenario that would be. Sometimes you get objects moving in 2 opposite directions, like the accordion pushes out, pushes an object north and an object south or whatever. So let's say we have to make sure that there are just as many things stopped as started. That's the real check. Everything that was moving has stopped moving. if that is true, subtract 1 from the local slide distance. And that's it. The end. So that should basically break. That'll stop this loop. No, wait, you need to... I mean, I guess you don't need to break, but I kind of feel like I should. Because this should run through at this point. This should just iterate up to 0 if these are actually empty. Then I'll go back here. I'll just be done. That feels cleaner. Okay. Let's see if we get the right numbers this time. Do I still have a breakpoint here? Hey, good morning, Mitchell. There's definitely dance floor levels with both of them. It's when you click the... Did you do the thing where you build the dance floor, but you didn't do the love dance stuff? Might not be hooked up very well. A lot of the shit is like... I may not be communicating this game very well with you, Mitchell. I'm sorry. You just did the building the dance floor part? Yeah. Wait, did you just get in here? When did you see that? No, they dance with each other. What's the point of building a dance floor if you can dance alone? I was going to make a bunch of dancing alone levels in case you broke up. Like, because there's a part of the game where you can have a fight. You know about that part. Oh, right. Sorry. What am I doing? Yeah, you've played that part. That's right. So, I need to touch that up. Fuck, it's still wrong. Why didn't it work? Undo. Okay. So at breakpoint here, show me what we got. Nope, this is gonna be wrong. So move if your stop. Okay. Your stop is equal. If you have just as many things stopped as started. Then break. Actually, there should be no situation where this is possible, but just in case there was some kind of insane bug. So break if there's more things stopped than started. That should not be a thing. I don't know. It should not be a thing. I'm just gonna add it anyway. I beat the game, I just skipped all the hard levels. That's good. Good, Mitchell. You know yourself. Starting to make the finale. You wanted to run it by me, but you can't remember what it is. It's noon. Oh, I've had one of those feelings. The ones with all three of them, I need to touch up. Those are very old. I promised myself I would work on them in December. I have like a rough schedule for when I need to get certain things done. The fuck calls on a phone? Also, that phone sounds hella old. What's I doing? Right, yes, breakpoint. Adding that breakpoint. Okay. Yeah. Check it. Percent through X form to finish is now 1. So we'll go from 0 to 1, which means we won't have that weird lag at the end. Okay. It doesn't look good. Hey. This doesn't look good. Am I crazy? It just looks so bad. Is it frame rate? Stat FPS. Sounds like a janky piece of shit. Now I've looked at it too much. Now I can't see it anymore. Now it looks right to me. What determines how long the slide phase goes for? I wrote this ages ago. No, seriously, what? Is it just always the same amount of time? No, slide duration. Slide duration. Okay, where are you set? Here. Take the distance you're sliding and multiply it by 0.1. Yeah, that seems reasonable. Well, kinda. Let's clamp it. You always need to be at least 0.2. What's the ramp down for the slide? Show me this curve. Player slide to stop. Okay. If we were doing this right, we would have one curve for if you're going further than like 3 units, and one curve for within 3 units. There's different ways to cheese this. I think a clamp is good enough. Definitely not doing this right, but you know. Oh, there's never a time it should be more than a second. There's no reason to clamp it though. What are you farting on so early? I wish it didn't take this long. I need a way to run a test map where I don't have to load absolutely everything. Let's play through a bit. I don't know, am I crazy? It's choppy, right? It's choppy, I swear to you. Well, that's just broken. Did that feel good? That was an example of moving 2 squares. Yeah, that feels a lot better than it did. The fuck was that? Oh, am I locked out? Oh my god, I am. But only... Interesting. I'm locked out, but not for hitting F. Oh, what is going on? And something's drawing. Alright, what's going on here? Did it happen after I undid? I think it was the result of an undo? It was. Did it happen before I undid? Okay, so you're not doing any of these things. It's possible I hit this somehow. Keep that there forever. 20,000 billion seconds. Make it screaming. Make it red. I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to repro that. Redo all. Oh, is redo all fucked up? You know, I haven't tested redo in a while. Because why would I? Redo. Oh, I'm losing redo. Fascinating. Oh, what the fuck? Oh, redo's just fucking not a thing. Not a thing anymore, huh? Interesting. Does a game need to have redo? Probably, right? Yeah. So that could have been broken forever. I would have had no idea. Okay, I think we're pretty committed to Never turning in place. At this point, nothing calls this. Oh man, I haven't looked at redo in a while. Oh, this is gonna be weird. Okay, so this switches tracks. This increments the move index. Suppress the save. Oh. Yeah, well. Definitely can't do that. So I just had a delay that was for the length of time that you would... Okay. So before, there was no sliding phase. There was only either you're rotating or extending a limb. And I would redo that. And I had the amount of time it would take to redo that, and then I would turn off the suppress save flag. Now we have the sliding phase, so save doesn't happen until if you move on to something that's sliding, and then it slides, which is a different amount of time. So the suppress save flag is off. Also, I'm not even sure if I have the idea of save suppression because I wasn't thinking about it when I rewrote the slide stuff. Oh crap. Okay. So, no, wrong thing. Let's see. Suppress save, yeah. Let's find all the places you're used. A lot. You're used a lot. You're used when undoing. This is no longer gonna work. Oh, this goes into a lot of things. This is also how I lock down the character. Oh, fuck. I need to fix this right. Okay. I think no matter what, I really want to press save for one time. I could be wrong, but I think this is true. I'm gonna check it. If suppress save is false or true, set to false for the next time around. Do that both on the transform and on the extend. Next, also on this slide, not you. Next, now we don't need to do this. I'm still questionable about this, though. I think there's just two things. I think this should be okay. For the redo, I don't need this at all. There's nothing speeding up the sliding phase for a redo or an undo. Those will always just be fast, which is a shame. Undo is not going to be a very good thing. You can't like spam undo. That might be a huge problem in playtesting, which I don't do enough of. I should do that. Hey, plus to happiness, what's up, dude? This takes too long. Why did this get so long? I've got too much to do. And I'm about to go on vacation. Why am I locked out right now? That's fascinating. Is that a result of my change? Yup. Okay. What did I do wrong? There's multiple reasons why you could suppress a save. I'm just gonna fucking throw another variable at it. I'm gonna call it redoing move. Because there could be cinematic reasons. There's initting the pawn. I just want to know if the move I'm doing is something I'm redoing. And if it is, set redoing move to be true. If you're undoing or reversing or suppressing save for any reason or redoing a move, don't save. I'll do this on each of the possible phases. Extending a limb, transforming, sliding, where the fuck? Oh, that's a setup. I gotta stop doing that. Transform, body, sliding. This is what happens every tick. I already did this one. Sliding, extending, normal transform. There we go. Also, I forgot one step. It's kind of important. Set redo move to false. Do this at each phase. Let's see if that works. We're gonna play this. What the fuck are you doing? Oh, Jesus. Let's check Twitter. Oh, Jesus, what? Kind of one of those tweets where they include like 50 people and then everybody likes it. Ugh. Come on. God damn it. What's going on my computer right now? Almost an alarmingly large amount. But I can't close Chrome without closing Twitch. Oh yeah, it's mostly Twitch. It's mostly the Unreal Engine, but can we just... I might need to get a new computer. Alright, I don't remember what we were supposed to be testing now. The redo. Okay. Oh god, I'm still locked out. What did I do? What did I do? Did I forget to wire something up? Did I... Is my save fucked up? I did something stupid. I don't know what stupid thing I did. I'm sure shit gonna back up my autosave. Part one. Quite a few of them. Okay. Okay. I'm just saving off my autosaves in case I need them later. Oh, can you guys not see anything? Have you guys been not able to see anything for like the entire stream? Have you been telling you've been unable to see things? And I just didn't notice? Well, how long has this been going on? Son of a bitch. It was when I complained about Chrome. Okay. Perhaps. I mean, I didn't shut down anything in the Control-Delete window. But maybe OBS. Maybe I just have this. Like I ran out of memory or something and it glitched. I don't know what to do because I don't want to accidentally show you too much. Let's just try that. No? I don't want to restart the stream because then some of it won't end up on YouTube. We're close to ending anyway, I think. But does it make sense for me to debug this when you can't see it? Also, my method of debugging it's going to be to roll back to a previous version. Probably. Let me see if you just suddenly start. Well. It wasn't streaming by the window, I was just streaming by the, what do you call it? By the monitor. Ooh, there it goes. Okay, I had to display to capture a different one and then go back. Okay. What am I going to do right now? I'm going to go into... Alright, so back these up. Come on, brain. It's almost 1. It's almost time for lunch. Game logic. No. Levels. Come on, brain. We're not going to levels. Got a player. Okay. So the player pawn, I suspect, is the thing that is fucked. So I'm just going to copy that to the desktop. That is now on the desktop. And then I'm going to open... Where was that other thing I did? Like literally a minute ago. New folder. I don't know where you are, but okay. Get me... Show me data. View details. Sort by date. Give me one from... Was I fucking with the play? Yeah, but... Maybe 1228? That might work. Maybe it was still working then. If not, we'll push it back one more. Totally not banned. I definitely clicked meme.jpg believing that would go somewhere. What am I doing? Right. Open. I just hit lunchtime brain. Lunchtime brain is similar to dumb brain. Dumb brain happens usually after dinner. After a day of work, you get the dumb brain. Lunch brain is different. It has energy, but does stupid shit. So, what is the stupid shit I'm not doing? Why? Can I still move in this version of the pawn? Yes. Sweet Jesus. Alright. So we have a working game again. Let's check it out. Okay. Let's figure out what I changed in the redo logic. Is there a reason why this delay and then set save was such an ish? I maintain this is redoing idea is a good idea. I'm gonna make a variable called is redoing. I'm not going to suppress save anymore. Sorry, whoops. Next. If the transfer, yeah. Oh god, lunch brain is here. So if, hey, what do you do? Yeah. Okay, so if suppress save or is redoing. Set is redoing to false. Transform slide. Suppress save or is redoing. This or this. In either instance, do not save the move. Set is redoing the false. Next, transform body. Did that one. Transform body slide. Did that one. Extend limb. Where are you? Suppress save. If you're undoing, reversing, whatever. If you're redoing any of the above. Set is redoing to false. I don't know why I just saved that. That was a suicidally stupid move. But you know. It's a bold decision. probably not ideal. Totally not banned. 69. Alright, so yeah, this is working. Yeah, what the fuck did I change last time? Let's go look through the video. Wait, we're not testing the right thing. Test the radio. 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 Undo. 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 Redo. This is not fun. I need a way to make that faster. But at least it's working. Okay. And I still have that fix I put in earlier, right? Right? God damn it. Oh no, it is. It's right here. Okay. I do have it. I'm gonna go get lunch before I fuck things up more. And I've gotta do a bunch of errands. And I'm flying out of town on Tuesday. So, which is Jesus tomorrow, isn't it? So, I don't know why I thought I had more time than that. I mean, I don't have that much to do. I just gotta go to the bank today. And make sure my credit cards are cool for traveling. And pack. I'm gonna get lunch, then I'm gonna go do those things. Thanks for hanging out for the stream, guys. It's been fun. I'm just gonna assume you're all AFK at this point. Later. Yeah.